Hello, everyone. It would be very nice if anybody is there already, if you could tell me if you can hear me properly. I know the video quality is definitely shit, but that's just my Mac. Ah, perfect. Great. I'm always a little bit afraid that I'm planning a stream and then my MacBook doesn't want to work. Because sometimes it happens also when I'm interviewing someone or someone's interviewing me, sometimes my Mac fails me, and that's always a little bit sad. I just made a very nice cup of green tea with vanilla, but it's not drinkable yet. It's far too hot. But yeah, I thought we could just have a little chat to catch up because I know my last stream, I think it was at least 2 months ago. And I originally was planning on streaming once a month because I think it's pretty fun. And it's a way for me to, yeah, properly engage with you because through the comments, first of all, of course, I can't, I can't keep up with all the comments. And it's of course not as interactive as a live stream. So I was definitely planning on doing more lives and I'm still planning on doing that. So hopefully from now on it will be a monthly thing. So yeah, I don't have any topics planned or anything. So if you have like anything to say or any questions to me or basically anything like that, then feel free to just put it in the comments. Um, wow, there are so many people here already. You're so on time. That's impressive. That's a very German thing to do, to be so on time. um, okay, a lot of people are saying hello, 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 hello. Hello from Arizona. Hello to Arizona. Tonight is my kindred's blow to hell. Lovely way to prepare myself for it with this live. Oh, that's lovely. Last year on Halloween, actually, we did a little. Well, it was less a proper bloat than just a hustle to hell, um, with my coven, and that was also very lovely. It was a very short, spontaneous thing, but it was still very lovely. Good evening. Ooh, someone from South Africa is watching. Hello. I didn't even know that anyone from South Africa is watching my channel. Crazy. Hi from Hungary. Hi. So many people from so many places are here. Hi from North Carolina, from Latvia. Hello. Hi from Yay! Moin. Moin from Northern Germany. Where in Northern Germany? I mean, you don't have to tell me, but I'm always excited when I meet other Northern Germans. So what time is it in Germany? It's 4 minutes past 8 p.m. So it's the evening. It has been dark for more than 2 hours already. So probably after this live I will just go to bed. But yeah, finding a time when you are not in the US time zones for like lives and things like that is always a little bit tricky. I know that for anyone probably in any kind of American time zone, it's probably a little bit of a shitty time. But sadly, I can't do it any other way because if it's evening where like anywhere in the US, basically it's in the middle of the night here. So, uh, boo boo, how have you been feeling lately? Um, it depends. It depends, I would say. I was about to say very relaxed, but then also not very relaxed. Like, I mean, I was on vacation for a week in Prague and that was amazing. Like that was one of my favorite vacations ever. If you ever get the chance to go to Prague, definitely do it. And that was very, very relaxing. But of course, now I'm working again, and the first week back at work, like at my day job, was just hell. Like The company was burning, basically. It was awful. So I'm trying to get back into the groove. But I'm also very, very motivated, especially for anything that relates to my shop, because my shop is finally open again. I'm very happy. And I have so many fun things planned. I don't know if you're interested, then maybe I can spill some tea on some future product ideas for the shop. Um, Hello from the UK. Hi. From Ohio. From Turkey. Wow. So many different places. The world is connecting. Yeah, really. That's crazy. Usually the only spaces I'm very aware of where people are watching is, like, anywhere in Northern America, Germany, and, like, Britain, because I think those are the places where most of my followers are coming from, but wow, so many people. Switzerland, Greece, Malta. Crazy. Oh, the Northern German person is from Schleswig. Hi. That's so lovely. I am a little bit jealous because I bet you can go to High Taboo whenever you want. And for anything, for anyone outside of German-speaking places, I'm speaking about Hedeby. If you know what that is, then you are cool. From Belgium. Wow. This is the perfect time for me coming from Arizona. Well, perfect. I was thinking, like, on a Sunday, it will probably be fine to do anything live because it will be either noonish, afternoonish for anyone in the Americas. So I thought that would be fine on a Sunday. On a Saturday or within the week, probably not, but on a Sunday. It's probably the best time. It's 9:30 p.m. for me, perfect timing. That's perfect. We had a solar eclipse yesterday morning. It was marvelous. We did? I don't I didn't realize. I even completely forgot about the new moon. What? I mean, I am making videos on the new and full moons and I still forgot about it. That's impressive. Like, I have an impressively bad memory. Did you do something fun for the solar eclipse? I wish I could visit Prague. Oh, yeah. I wish everyone could visit Prague. Although, if you go to Prague, it seems like everyone is visiting Prague because there are so many tourists. Like, that's the only thing I really disliked about Prague. Well, basically, two things. One thing, so many friggin' tourists that it's crazy. Like, you don't want to go to, like, the typical tourist spots on on a weekend because it's friggin' crazy. And two, of course, there are a lot of alcohol tourists, a lot of people who just go there to get drunk. We were out only on a Friday night because we were there from Monday to Saturday, and on a Friday night, we were walking around town because we went to a burlesque show. And we weren't even, like, in the old town and in the typical touristy parts, but still there were so many drunk people, and that was friggin' scary. I think drunk people are scary if you're not drunk yourself. The photos you shared on Instagram from your trip to Prague were beautiful. Yes, because Prague is so beautiful. Ah! I didn't know you had a shop. Can someone put a link in the chat? I can put a link in the chat. I am always linking it under my videos too. Here is the link to the shop. Oh, coffee, you were also just about to send it. Well, now you have it multiple times. Um, and yes, it's a shop for sustainably and ethically sourced witchcraft and paganism tools. So it's not just a witchcraft shop, it's also, like, of course, I mean, I'm a heathen, so I always like to get stuff for my heathen friends, but basically anyone can find stuff there. There is a lot of stuff in my shop. And I make sure that it's ethically and sustainably sourced, as I said, which oftentimes leads to me having to make it myself. I recently did a DNA test kit. I had been told all my life that I was part German. I found out I didn't have any German ancestry. That was one reason I started watching your channel. Oh no! I hope you will stay nonetheless, even though you're apparently not German. Although I have to say, like, of course, these DNA test things are not accurate. Like, you sh you shouldn't really, like, rely on them too heavily. But I think it's still fun to do them, like, if you want, like, a general direction, because of course, like, if it doesn't pick up any German ancestry, then that's a little bit strange, but just because it says you're, like, 20% something doesn't necessarily say you're 20% something. Hello from Eastern Canada, from Portugal, Atlanta. Wow, crazy. Uh, oh gods. A German message. I have to switch languages. Um, oh, the person is oftentimes thinking about whether gods from different pantheons know like each other. So, like, do the Greek gods know about the Norse gods and vice versa? And are there stories about that? I mean, I don't know any stories about that. I mean, maybe like American gods or something. I don't know. But I mean, I doubt that there are actual sources on something like that. Um, but I guess that totally depends on what you believe in. Like, if you only believe in one pantheon and that's it, then that doesn't really make sense. But for example, I definitely believe that even though I am only focusing on the Norse pantheon and I am a heathen, I still believe that deities from other pantheons exist. So I don't deny their existence. So I could see them knowing about each other. I don't know. It's a very philosophical thing to think about, because then it's like, do they also actually live in the same worlds, or do they have like separate worlds? And then can they travel between those? It's tricky. But yeah, it's very interesting to think about. I think we could not see the solar eclipse here in Germany. I feel like we can never see it in Germany. I don't know. Every time I hear about a solar eclipse, it's always one you can't see from here. I'm only an hour behind you, so it's nice that it's not in the middle of the night. Yeah, right. I also would not want to live stream at 3 a.m. Maybe like 5 years ago, I could have done that because back then I always stayed up incredibly late. But now I'm more of a midnight bed person, so I'm definitely not awake in the middle of the night. Mm, it never would occur to me to go all the way to Prague in order to get drunk. Yeah, I mean, if you live close by, I mean, for example, if you live in southern Germany, then it's not that far to go to Prague. It's only a couple hours. So, and I mean, there are a lot of people who only go to the Oktoberfest to get hella drunk. There are people traveling from the US or anywhere else to Munich to get drunk. So, mm, uh, the eclipse was only in the Americas. It was called the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire sounds epic. I hope it also looked that way. Wait, let me test my tea. Perfect. By the way, that's a cup I got in Prague. It also has a lid, that's the word. It also has a lid. It's very cute. I always try to get like nice pottery, any kind of nice cup whenever I go somewhere on vacation, because I'm not a like souvenir person, so my souvenirs are just nice pottery. Mm, well, your link actually works, so that is better. Yep. Do you share videos with your coven also? No, I don't. Um, simply because not all of them would be comfortable on video. Um, yeah, so no. I would love to like interview them at some point, but yeah, at least one of them would have to wear a paper bag. So, woo live stream, and can I say hi this time? I hope you're having a great day. Oh, hello back. Hello back. Mm-mm-mm. Uh, I'm part German, but my biggest chunks are Irish and English. I feel like that's the thing for a lot of, I mean, I don't know if you're American, but I was just assuming because most of my viewership is from the Americas. Um, hail and what? Hail and well met, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Hello. Mm. I think modern media often shows snippets about that. Oh, about the gods from different pantheons knowing each other. Thor, Love and Thunder, for example. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's a very modern thing, but I think it's a fun thought. Like, just imagine, I don't know, Aphrodite and Freya hanging out or something. I feel like that's a fun thought. It would be tricky for someone who feels like different deities from different pantheons are the same. Like a lot of people like conflate Aphrodite with Freya, for example. If you do that, it doesn't work. But as a hard polytheist, it's very possible. Oh gods. Can I just say I hate the live chat because it just always whenever I scroll down, it jumps down to the bottom and I have to scroll up again. Ugh. I don't know about stories about gods from different pantheons, but if you work with different gods, it can be like Freya and Bastet are friends or something. I heard this from someone lately. Oh, so it's actually someone's UPG. That's interesting. My mother died 3 weeks ago. I am so sorry. I will be honoring her tonight in our bloat. Any thoughts on an appropriate offering for her? I have bundles of herbs and was thinking of offering those. To your mother or to hell? That's the question, because I mean, for your mother, then of course, like you know your mother best. Just do something that she would like. But when it comes to hell, I know she appreciates red wine. That's what we did last year. Um, at least she told me that she does not want flowers as offerings, because I was thinking about like maybe very deep red roses or even just like dead flowers, like just dried flowers maybe. But she didn't want those. Uh Dang. I would have to read it up again. I wrote it down somewhere what she told me, but I can't remember. Apart from red wine, that one she always appreciates anything handmade, of course. Like I once took like a bone and with my wood burner, I worked it and put some decorations on it and stuff to honor her, and I gave her that as an offering. She also liked that. She seems to like obsidian and like anything, uh, any what was I about to say? Oh yeah, anything that has to do with like crows or ravens. So like, for example, I don't know if it's still in stock, but I had like a black obsidian raven skull, for example. I gave her a black obsidian like human skull, which she seemed to like. Um, and anything that relates to like death, for example. Like I, for example, gave her a stone that I collected in the place where there was once uh oh, what's it called? I mean, people were hanged there. It was like a hill where people were hanged. And I collected a stone there and gave her that as an offering. So a lot of different things. Oh, dog related things. That's also an idea. Uh, oh damn, it jumped again. Question: do you have to wear a white robe when doing offerings to deities? No, definitely not. I mean, of course, I don't know every religion in the world, so it's possible that there is one where that's appropriate, or that there are specific pantheons where that makes sense. But I don't know of any, at least. So I don't know why you would have to wear a white robe. I usually approach my deities just in my normal day wear. I know that people like to, for example, put on some special clothing because, of course, it's kind of, it honors them more if you get ready for like giving an offering to them. And of course, you can like dress up in special colors that they are like connected to. Like, for example, for Thor, for example, you could wear something red. Um, but you don't have to do any of that. That's just like a, if you want to do it, then do it, and that's it. Boo, boo, boo. I've always wanted to say I adore your kitty chest tattoo. I love all the tats you can see in your vids, but kitty is my fave. That's actually a lynx. A lot of people think that this is a cat. I mean, it kind of looks like a uh, dang, what are they called? The huge ones with the big head. I don't remember the name of the breed, but a lot of people think that that's that, but it's actually a lynx, as you like, this kind of gives it away, the like nice feathery ears. But yeah, that's also, I think that's one of my favorites. Like my head will always be a favorite, and this specific hand tattoo because it wraps so nicely around my wrist and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. This one will always be my favorite, probably. Mm, Also, just want to say, found your channel very recently, and your meditation videos are so helpful. Finding it very tough to enter the altered state. Will you make any more meditation videos? Okay, here's the thing. I really like doing meditation videos. Um, and when I was still frequently posting stuff on Patreon, because at the moment I'm taking a little break because I got very burnt out. And the way I handle Patreon like didn't work out anymore, so I had to take a break. So currently I'm not posting anything there apart from like early access to my videos, and of course like I'm running the Discord still and we're doing a book club and stuff, but like there is a fly somewhere. Um but yeah, when I was still running the Patreon, I actually uploaded monthly meditation videos there. So I recorded a guided meditation every single month that I wrote myself and stuff. Um, and I really liked doing that. And now I know that I can't do it monthly anymore because it's hell of a lot of work. It's even more, I would say it was more work than putting a normal video out there, because I, of course, have to write down, like, I have to make a concept for the meditation, then I have to write it down, then I have to record the whole thing and like cut out any strips where there's like noise in the background because that could be just disrupting and stuff. So it's very much work. So I have to kind of think how I will proceed from now on. Like, I won't do it on Patreon anymore simply because I can't do it monthly. Yeah. I'll have to see if I find the time to put any more out there, because I like making them, but yeah, it's a lot of work that basically if I just put them out on YouTube, I would do the work for free, because of course I won't monetize meditation videos. Just remember doing a guided meditation and in the middle there's an ad or something. Doesn't work. So if I put them out there, it would be completely for free, and I already have a lot to do with 2 weekly videos. So we will see. I was actually debating on making more meditations and putting them on my shop for like cheap, a couple of bucks or something, but I don't know. I haven't thought of a new concept yet, to be honest. But thank you for bringing it up, because it totally had slipped my mind that I have to think about that too. Um, oh dang, it's jumped again. Same here. I've started collecting cups and mugs from places I go on vacation. I've had a friend drink from one cup of mine that I love and told them no, not to, but they still drank from it. That's rude. If I tell someone not to do something with my stuff, they should just respect that. That's crazy. Mm, all right. I just realized, what the heck? YouTube is actually putting ads in live streams while they are still live. That's crazy. Nope, I will skip that ad. How stupid is that? Putting ads in there if I have uploaded them as a video, okay, but not while I'm still live. What the YouTube. YouTube things. YouTube is a separate universe. But yes, collecting cups and mugs from places you travel to is amazing. I love doing it. Sadly, I didn't get one when I went to Copenhagen, so sad. I will have to go there again to get a cup. Oh no. Tristan from North Carolina, just sewing up some junk journals to sell on Etsy. I love your content. I mostly follow Norse and Egyptian. Blessed be. Happy spooky season. Oh, that's cool. If you sell them on Etsy, feel free to like put the link in the chat. Maybe someone is interested and wants to check out your shop. Good afternoon from Las Vegas. Oh yeah, there we have it. It's the afternoon in the US and some places. My mother passed in 2020. Again, so sorry. My cousin and I have had shared dreams about her, very specifically close. Have you ever had a shared dream with someone? I actually never had, but also I'm in general not a gifted dreamer. Like even when I still had like I made a like dream sachet that I put under my pillow to actually remember my dreams and bring like visions in my sleep. And I did remember my dreams. That was good because normally I do not remember my dreams. But still, like, I'm just not a person who gets visions or like any type of like psychic dreams. That just doesn't happen to me. I'm not gifted in that regard, sadly. So I completely gave up on that. I only had my grandpa actually quite recently visit me in my dream, actually the day after his birthday. So that was nice, but it wasn't a shared dream with anyone. Uh, hello from Canada. Hello, Maine Coon. Yes, Maine Coon. That's that's the breed that I was thinking about. Thank you. Hi there, and good evening from Aachen. Hi. I believe that Freya's cats are lynxes. That's my UPG. I've actually read that a lot, like in sources that are not like proper sources. Like I've never read it in the Eddas or any sagas or something, but a lot of people say that Freya's cats are lynxes, and I don't know because, as I said, I've never read it anywhere else, only just on like either like just people's blogs or something, um, or just random, right? Yeah, random people who don't like give a source for that. So I could see that because lynx are just amazing cats, but I don't know. It would be cool if it was lynxes because I love lynxes. Is it okay if I use the herb combinations for oils that you do for your shop? Don't want to overstep. I do plan on getting the herbs from your shop. Sure, if you want to make the herbs yourself. I mean, it still won't be the same oil that I'm making because of course, like I'm making it at specific times, charging them, etc., etc. So, I mean, of course, you can. I can't, like, I can't tell you not to use herbs, you know. Um, so of course, go on, do it. Mm, I don't see the moon from my flat, but can I still do moon magic? Of course, the moon is still there, even if you don't know it. You can also work with the moon on a day that is completely cloudy, so you can't see the moon at all. You can still do moon magic. It is still there. Only because you can't see it doesn't mean that you can't work with it. I mean, you can even do moon magic in the daylight while you can't see the moon at all. So, uh, oh, apparently there is a partial solar eclipse in Germany in 2025. That's good to know, but still a very long way to go, and only a partial one. I want a full one. I want the full experience. I've started giving Freya offerings every day recently. I wouldn't say it's working with yet, just worshiping, and I'm fine with that. But how would I know if she'd receive it or like it? Oh, that completely depends on. I don't want to say what your gifts are, because I don't really like to call it gifts, but it's just different from person to person. Um, for example, if you are clairaudient, then you could hear her say something like thank you. If you're clairvoyant, then you could see something, like you could see an image that makes you think that she received it and liked it. For me personally, because I am a feeling person in general, um, for me personally, it's a feeling both physically and also emotionally. So when I give an offering and it's received well, I one will like start randomly smiling and like just get extremely happy and sometimes even like so happy that I get teary-eyed and things like that. And a lot of the times it's like I either feel someone having like a hand on my shoulder or I get goosebumps or something like that. Something that I personally um, connect to something positive. So if you would connect goosebumps to like being scared or cold or something, then that would probably not be a good sign. But yeah, it's very, very personal to every single person. And I always think that's why one of the first things that everyone should do is try to figure out what they're personally good at. Because just because a book says this is how you know doesn't mean that that works for you, you know? Like if a lot of books heavily rely on clairvoyance and meditations and visualizations and stuff like that. And if you are not a person that, yeah, easily sees things, then that won't work for you. So knowing what does work is very important in my opinion. I hope you can't hear it, but my neighbors are having a party and they're listening to like awful music very loudly. Gods. I live over a kind of type of Airbnb thing, and it's awful because people just go here to party, it seems like. So whenever there's someone in the Airbnb type flat under me, I I hate it. They're always listening to music extremely loudly because apparently they also don't understand that this is a nearly 100-year-old house and I can hear everything. Everything. It's awful. Um, wow, every day, that sounds expensive. I mean, offerings don't have to be big. You can also just give an incense stick or like a cup of coffee or a cup of water every day. Doesn't have to be a lot. Also, I'm autistic and it is easy. Ooh, and also, is it easy, those like me, to meditate and start working with the Egyptian pantheon? Was that a question? I don't, sorry, I don't really understand what you mean. Was that a question and you want to ask me if it is easy for autistic people to meditate and work with deities? I don't know. I think I still believe everyone can meditate. I still also believe that people with ADHD can meditate. Um, but yeah, it's significantly harder for some people, let's just say it like that. But it can be even more rewarding. Um, OMG, I've been doing your inner temple meditation literally almost every day for the last month or so, and it's wonderful. It helps me so much. I have never felt closer to my guides. That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. Aw. I have to say though, my meditation, the inner temple thing, is from the Inner Temple of Witchcraft by Christopher Penczak, I think. At least like the entire like idea. I didn't like read it word by word from the book, but like the idea of the meditation is from that book. I hope I mentioned that in the video description, but I think I did. I just always want to make sure so people don't think I am trying to like pass it off as my meditation that I made up. Uh, what is the primary language of your craft? I struggle with that as a bilingual person, and most information on witchcraft is in English instead of my native language. Oh, that's a good one. I struggled with that too a long time because of the same reason. Like, there aren't really any German sources, any German books. Like, nowadays, some good books are being translated, but most books you will find are heavily New Age and nothing that I'm interested in. So, um, yeah, if you, of course, read about it and hear about it all the time only in English, then talking about it in your like in another language, doesn't matter if it's like your first language or not, will sound strange. Like if I talk about magic in German, it sounds weird to me. So for the longest time, I did all of my things in English, all of my rituals, all of my spells, everything. But when I started getting closer to my ancestors and stuff, I realized that doing it in my first language, and I am not bilingual. Like, I didn't grow up English German. I only grew up German, and I just learned English in school. So I'm definitely much closer to German, although I sometimes find myself thinking in English, which is crazy. But of course, German will hit home much harder than English. So that's why I have decided a couple of years ago, I think, to do everything in German, even if it sounds weird to me, because only that way I will get used to it. And I want to get used to it. And we will see. Now that I'm learning Danish, maybe I will try it in Danish at some point and then just see what happens, because I feel like it just feels different doing it in another language. So it would be cool to, for example, hold a bloat in Danish. I feel like that would be cool. Uh, I've totally given up on meditation because I couldn't focus or find motivation to do them. But with your meditations, I actually can't wait to do them and randomly get excited about them during the day. That is so cute. Thank you so much. That makes me incredibly happy. I feel like once you find a style of meditation that works, it will get so much easier, because there are so many more things that you can do than just sit down and listen to your breath. There are so many more things that you can do. And especially if you look at meditations that were created by witches for witches, they are usually much more interactive. You're doing things, you're visualizing things, or you're trying to feel things, you're doing something. And I feel like with those meditations, it's much more easy to, yeah, just focus on it and not like slip with your mind somewhere else and start thinking about something completely unrelated. Will you be doing anything for Samhain? PS blessing from Alaska. Wow, Alaska. That's impressive. Um, I'm not sure yet. I mean, we will be celebrating Halloween again with the coven. So I don't know if we maybe want to do something again, because we will be at my coven mate's house and they have a fireplace. And last year we did the bloat around the fireplace, which was very nice. And I'm sorry I'm doing that all the time, but my nose is itchy. I think I have a cat hair in my nose. um, so I don't know if we want to do something together. I could see that happening, then maybe. But I haven't personally planned anything, actually. So maybe spontaneously. I'm such a spontaneous person. I never really plan things in advance. So if I feel like it that day, then I maybe will, because it's actually a vacation day, a national, is that what it's called? A national holiday. That's what it's called in Germany. So that's pretty nice. Hello from Georgia. Hello from Connecticut. Hello back. Um, the word that is translated with cat can mean any type of cat-like animal, lynx included. Yeah, of course, like a lynx is also a cat. It could also be a lion, because a lion is also a cat. It could be anything, and we will never know what they actually meant, which would be cool though. It would be nice to just get a download spontaneously and know the truth. Um, Thank you for helping me share it. Of course. Always support small businesses. Do you have any tips about how to find fellow practitioners? I'm from Germany and a POC with German heritage. I find the New Age and esoteric wave in Germany incredibly difficult because of Nazis. Yes, I totally get that. I totally get that. And in general, finding fellow practitioners in Germany is incredibly hard, because for some reason we just don't seem to want to connect to each other. Um, I mean, there is a German Discord server that I know of. It's called Hexenkessel. Um, and from the short time that I was on there, it seemed fine. I don't know how it is now, because that has been like 1.5 years ago or something. I don't remember. Um, so maybe you could check that out, because I think there are like over 1,000 people on there. So the chances are high that you will find someone who lives nearby. But what I personally always think is, like, if you don't find someone initially, how about you put yourself out there? Like if you feel comfortable doing that. For example, I only found my coven through Meetup, which is a website where you plan meetups. Well, that's that. So it's used also oftentimes by people who are, for example, new to the city and who want to just randomly meet new people, get to know other people, and maybe you could try putting up a meetup for witches or pagans there and see who turns up. Of course, that puts you in a very vulnerable place because you're the person organizing that. But we are doing those also sometimes, public meetups. And this far, at least once we specified witches and pagans, important, because previously we always said occultists, and for some reason there were a lot of like uh oh shit, what is it called in English? Um Dang, wait, I have to Google a word. Oh yeah, conspiracy theorists. For some reason, a lot of conspiracy theorists showed up when we called it a an occultists meetup. But once we specified witches and pagans, that was okay again. So maybe you could put up a meetup and see who shows up. Um, I at least have never made like a majorly negative experience with that. Sometimes there are people who are a little bit weird, maybe. And of course, you don't get along with everyone, but like you hang out with them for like an hour or two, and if you don't like them, then you just don't see them again. Um, oh, another partial solar eclipse in 2026, 2025, and 2026. I will have to keep that in mind. Oh, the previous message goes on because of Nazi idiots, and I'm already scared because of the politics here. Dude, I am too. Like oh gods. Politics in Germany are going to shits, honestly. Like so many people are voting for like right-wing parties. It is so scary. Mm, I basically just share my food and drink with her morning and night, and sometimes some incense in a candle. It's fine. Okay, so the daily Freya offerings. That still sounds like a lot of work, though. That's impressive. Realizing that visualization was not my main way to experience the craft was game-changing. Speaking of what you're good at. Yes, for me too. Like, I can visualize. Like, I don't have aphantasia, but it's definitely not my strong suit. Um, so finding out that I actually can feel things and I can do basically everything just by feeling, that made everything so much easier. If you are clear smelling, don't know if it's called like this. I think it's called clair gustant, or was that clear tasting? I don't remember. You smell the gods, but maybe nothing else. So I know when friends are giving cigarettes to Loki because I smell it. Oh no! I am so sorry. I wouldn't want to smell the cigarettes offered to someone. But that's funny. Did you like smell cigarettes and you asked the friend and they said, "Oh yeah, I just offered a cigarette to Loki"? That's interesting. I sometimes have weird smells. Um, that doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes it happens. And yeah, that's sometimes happened to me too. Like I don't smell the offerings that someone else gave the deity, but I will smell something related to that deity. And for example, Freya once reached out with a smell that was like incredibly sweet. Um, and I don't know if it was like if I smelled her or like her energy, or if she sent some kind of energy my way that just I perceived as a smell. I don't know. But that was interesting because it doesn't happen a lot, or I just don't recognize it. That's also very possible because I am very blind to signs. Oh, you're not hearing me. Well, everyone else seems to be able to hear me, so I'm sorry. But it doesn't seem to be on my end. What is the awful music I would like to know? Like awful electronic music. I hate electronic music. So like if it's like rave music and stuff, I'm out. Nope. And they are listening to something like that. Um, some of my deities like it when I give them things that I want. For example, every morning I can't wait to drink my energy drink, but before I take my first sip, I pour some for Loki. Oh, I bet he likes that. Energy drinks as an offering sounds amazing for Loki. Yeah, it can be as easy as that. Like if you make a tea for yourself in the mornings, then why not just either make a separate cup for whatever spirit? Could also be your ancestors or a familiar spirit or whoever, or just give like a little bit of your tea to someone else. It can be very easy. For people with ADHD, a walking meditation could be easier. Definitely. Walking, oh, I swear by walking meditations. I love them, especially if you want to, for example, connect to local spirits or nature spirits. I sometimes feel weird, for example, when I'm like just sitting and meditating on the cemetery I go to, because of course there are other people. And if I sit there and meditate, I oftentimes feel weird because social anxiety, because they could think like, why the hell is that person sitting there with their eyes closed? So walking meditation is incredibly helpful. I know when Loki wants special offerings because they meddle with my coffee order frequently. Oh no, that's rude. Oh, that would piss me off, honestly. You say it in the video too. I don't know what you're referring to. I discovered your channel last Christmas Eve, and after that, I felt the urge to work with Freya. While I was wondering about building her an altar, my fiance showed me the song Valhalla Calling. Synchronicities, synchronicities. But I love that you felt the urge to work with Freya after you found my channel because Freya is very dear to me. So I'm happy to spread the love. Also, my cat is getting zoomies right now, so if you hear something, that's probably her. I'm West Virginian from the US, and I wish that my state of West Virginia has had a pagan festivals where I'm living at right now. Wait, what? And I wish that my state of West Virginia has a pagan festivals. Oh, so they're not having any. Yeah, well, in Germany we also don't have anything like that. That's why I was actually debating organizing something like that because I know in the US there are so many like pagan festivals and like pagan pride and things like that. And in Germany, we don't have anything like that. And I think it's very sad because, of course, if we don't have any fairs or anything like that, how are we supposed to connect to each other? Um, so I would really like to organize something like that. But of course, that's hard. And I've never done anything like that before. I know from a like technological side, my fiance is an event technician. So I could just put him in charge of like organizing anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's definitely not something that I have the time for currently. I would love to though. That would be so friggin' fun. And like get all of my like creator friends over here to give talks and stuff. That would be so cool. And do like public rituals with everyone. That would be amazing. Do you know how true is Freya is associated with linden trees? I've seen this many times in pagan spaces. However, I study Old Norse academically and I didn't find anything in the primary sources. I have never heard that. Not a single time. So I have also not stumbled across anything like that in the primary sources, and I've never heard it in any other source. So I don't know. I at least I have never heard of it. But maybe it's possible that it's more of a folklore thing? Maybe. I don't know. But of course, there are a lot of people out there trying to pass their UPG off as fact. So it's also possible that someone just made it up and then a lot of people just copied it over and over because a lot of people don't check their sources. I am neurodivergent, would need an official diagnosis, but therapists suspected autism and ADHD. And I agree, walking meditation is easier, but in the right mind, it can work at home too. That's great. She's with me ever since and even seems to work together with my main goddess Kali, which I find very cool. That's cool. And that's another UPG of gods from different pantheons know about each other. Hi, how would you know the difference between a sign from a spirit or nature and your own imagination? That's a hard one. Um, a lot of it is experience because at some point you will know, like, okay, I get most of my signs through images or through smells or whatever. If you are unsure, just ask and confirm it with the entity in question. So I am a hardcore doubter. I always doubt whatever I experience, and I never trust that anything is a sign. So I always confirm it with the deity or the entity in question. I've also sometimes misinterpreted things that I thought were signs and they turned out weren't. So if you're unsure, just check with the entity in question. Maybe like communicate with them with a pendulum and just ask them like, was that a sign? And then you get an easy yes no. You can also do any other divination on it. That's the safest bet. And if you do that regularly, then you will kind of get a feeling for what is a sign and what isn't. But yeah, if you start out and it's the first couple of things that you are experiencing, then just check back with the entities. That's something that I always say, like, people always make it too hard for themselves. Like, even if it's like, also if it's about like offerings and stuff, why not just ask the entity? That's the easiest thing that you can do. Why try to guess what they would like if you could just ask them? I have to take a couple of breaths. In live streams, it's always like you're constantly talking and talking. And at some point, your voice just doesn't want to work anymore. Oh, all right. Um, do you know any meditations to start for someone who is trying to enter themselves to center, sorry, to someone trying to center themselves and have a better understanding of your culture? I mean, there are a lot of grounding and centering meditations out there. Um, for understanding your culture, I mean, you could just go into an altered state by whatever meditation out there. There are so many meditations to get you into, for example, alpha state, and then just think about it. Like, focused thinking about something is also a meditation. But apart from that, I don't know a meditation for understanding your culture. Do you have any meditation recommendations from YouTube for witches, please? Sadly, no, because I don't usually use any YouTube meditations. Um, so sadly, no. Um, please do videos about losing weight magic. Mm, I won't. I can easily say that because that is such a tricky topic, and it's a thing that is so, so difficult psychologically for a lot of people. And I don't want to exclude myself. Like, I am not 100% like free from like body dysmorphia and stuff. So I would not want to do that because it is such a sensitive topic. Yeah. And I wouldn't want to, for example, cause any like psychological troubles for someone. So this is just a thing that can be highly triggering, and I don't want to do that. So I will never do that. If you want to lose weight, like, find a physical way to do that. And yeah, you will probably find spells for that online, but I don't personally want to be the source of that. Mm, alright, German Message. Liebe Grüße aus Stuttgart, viel Erfolg noch auf deinem Weg. Deine Videos sind eine Bereicherung. Vielen, vielen Dank dafür. Dankeschön. Das ist sehr lieb. It's weird. When I'm talking English and then I'm switching to German, it's strange. Um, for entering also the meditations for entering an altered state of consciousness. I have a meditation on my channel for entering alpha state. So that one. You must be talking about Hexenkessel-Liebe. It's very cool there. They even have channels for your areas to find other people. Yes, that's exactly the one that I was talking about. I am at the Discord from Hexenkessel-Liebe. I think we are already over 3K there. Oh, wow. I tried to get a link, but I think you have to go to the YouTube channel from them. Okay, so apparently the Discord, the German Discord, Hexenkessel-Liebe, has a YouTube channel, so you will probably be able to find it pretty quickly. So for anyone German who wants to find other practitioners in their area, check out that Discord. No frith with Nazis, definitely. Thank you so much for answering the offering question. I'm not very gifted. Do you think I should try to enter a meditative state every time I give offerings so I might receive more? Okay, so first of all, I'm also not very gifted. Like, I would never, like, I wouldn't call myself psychic or anything, so I feel you there. Um, One thing that you can do is to, my teacher calls it to do an inventory of your state. So check your like physical state. How is your body feeling physically? Check how your energy is feeling. Like if you can feel your energy, then check how your energy is feeling. Check how you're emotionally feeling, what you're thinking about, what you're seeing, how like the space around you feels, what you hear, what you can see, everything around that. And then give the offering and then see if something has changed. The thing is that usually we go into experiences like that not even knowing really what we are feeling in that moment or seeing or something because we're so focused on the offering itself. And if we don't know what we were feeling and seeing beforehand, how are we supposed to recognize a sign afterwards, especially if we don't have the easiest time like receiving anything? So if you do the inventory beforehand, then it's much easier to recognize any changes. So that is something that you can do. Um, that will probably, like if you take some time doing that, that will probably already get you in some kind of altered state. Not full on alpha state, for example. If you, if it makes it easier for you, of course you can try to like do a very quick meditation, go into alpha state, then give the offering. Um, but I feel like the inventory thing already works great. So maybe you can try that. That's something that like my teacher told everyone, like that didn't like tell me because I'm also just watching recordings, but that's something he mentioned and I tried it and it works great. So highly recommend. Um what do you think about gatekeeping in witchcraft? I actually have a separate video on that. To make it very short, I think there is validity in gatekeeping depending on what kind of gatekeeping it is, because nowadays a lot of things that aren't gatekeeping are called gatekeeping. Like the term is thrown around a lot for things that aren't gatekeeping. Like, for example, if someone just doesn't want to share a spell with you, that's not gatekeeping. Like nobody has to share their own experience and knowledge with you. Um, But there is like gatekeeping that is totally valid. Like there are a lot of covens, for example, who have coven secrets and they won't share everything with you until you are initiated. And that has total validity. And there are a lot of like other magical practices that, for example, are closed. Of course, that's like the typical gatekeeping, and that's usually done for protection. So it's also valid. I think it totally depends on the case. But if you want to like know more about it, then check out that video. Um, I think I even called it gatekeeping in witchcraft or something. No, I hate the smell of cigarettes. Sometimes it's a trigger to my PTSD, so not good at all. Oh shit. Ugh, I'm sorry. So happy that this love is happening while I am on a 6-hour road trip for work. Ha! That's great. I'll gladly entertain you. A lot of the times I hear that people are using me as a podcast, and I think that's funny. Mm. Ah, you're not hearing the music, my neighbor's music. That's good. That's very good. I'm glad you don't have to listen to that. But it has gotten much quieter, so maybe I will be able to sleep later. I like to give the first sip of my coffee to Thor or my chocolate to Tyr. Chocolate for Tyr. That sounds fun. But yeah, I can see Thor liking coffee, especially if it's very strong one. Or Irish coffee. No, don't worry, Loki is not being rude. They give me extra coffees or coffees in bigger sizes. Not at all unhappy about that. Okay, that's amazing. I want extra coffees. I mean, I don't really drink coffee, but I want extra matcha and extra chai. Okay, that's cool. I want that to happen to me too. Can you tell him to do that for me? Uh, oh, ha! Found someone who also wants to organize a fair for witches and pagans with me. I will, I mean, I will maybe even get back to that. At the moment, I don't have the time to do that, but like if I find the time and I want to actually tackle that, then the chances are high that I will actually get back to you about that. I would come to your pagan festival. Yay! We had some esoteric fairs lately in Eckernförde and in the middle of Flensburg, Schleswig and Kappeln. What? There was an esoteric fair in my hometown? Okay, that's crazy. But yeah, well, as always, it was probably very new agey, right? If you already call it an esoteric fair, it was probably very new agey, so not something that I would personally attend because I already see the cultural appropriation happening everywhere. I would also come to the festival and talk about Loki to everyone who's happy to hear. Yay! You would have such a huge group of people around you because Loki just wants he wants everyone. Everyone. Thanks for the Hexenkessel Liebe peeps in the chat. Spread the love, spread the love. War That channel has a German witchcraft podcast. I've never found German podcasts. Yep. I actually saw that a couple of days ago. I saw it on Instagram, I think. What helps me connecting and asking deities is placing necklaces on their altars, and I wear them on days when I'm working with them. They're great pendulums, or touching the pendant changes my mind state. That's actually something that I really wanted to start doing with rings because I have an unholy amount of rings. I'm a little bit addicted to buying rings. And I have quite some rings that would work pretty nicely with some specific entities. So I have a rune ring, for example, that would work great for Odin. I have an amber ring that I love that would work great for Freya. I have an obsidian ring that would be amazing for Hel. And I was actually thinking about consecrating them and blessing them in their names and start wearing them whenever I want to like feel the presence of the deity nearby or want to do something special for them that day. So it's interesting that you mentioned that because yeah, I was thinking about doing the same thing with rings. Mm, will you make more meditation videos? I love them. Um, I was actually already talking about that. I have to figure things out because I was uploading guided meditations for my Patreons monthly until I took a break from Patreon. And I don't know yet how I will continue with that. If I will start making them for Patreon again or publicly or whatever. They're just a lot of work, so I don't know yet. Where I'm from, there's a festival for our state cryptid known as the Mothman, and the festival every September to celebrate. There is a festival for Mothman? That's so funny. I actually watched, I think yesterday, I watched a video by Rachel Maxey, who is an amazing YouTuber, by the way. I love her. She is so funny, and her clothing style is. And she made, like, she has a series where she turns things with vintage. So she made like a Halloween costume, a Mothman Halloween costume, but made it vintage. So she turned it into like a 1920s showgirl outfit. So fucking funny. Oh, so it's funny that you mentioned Mothman today. I usually listen to YouTube videos as podcasts. I'm incapable of just sitting and watching things. Well, same if it's just a video of someone sitting and talking. And I know that my videos are usually just me sitting and talking. So I totally get that people use that as a podcast. I sometimes even use videos like that to just fall asleep with. And that's actually very, very handy. It works very well. Mm, do you visit haunted places this time of year? So far, my friends and I have toured a prison and asylum. And then I wondered if I should have set up protections before entering. Tricky because I don't know of any haunted places around me. Like, I feel like, and that could be just an exposure thing, but I feel like there's at least much less talk about haunted places in Germany. I don't know. We probably have them. I have actually been very much into visiting lost places. So just houses that have been, or like my favorite was always, damn, I'm missing a word again. Wait. Oh yeah. Wow, such a basic word. Hospitals. Like hospitals that have been empty for like years and years. So they're completely empty and like people have been going there to like do like graffitis and stuff like that. So it's kind of creepy. And I guess some people probably think that they're haunted, but I don't really know of a lot of haunted places. Um, which is probably due to not a lot of places in Germany being empty, like at least in the western part. Like when I was still living in Berlin, like there are so many lost places around there. Um, but like in Hamburg, not really that much because we have so little space that if there is a building that's not being used, it's repurposed. But so yeah, not really. But I'm also not a haunted place person because I get scared very easily. And I will just shit my pants. When we were visiting the lost places in Berlin, I was just regularly shitting my pants. It was so friggin' scary. It didn't help that my then boyfriend and his best friend always like were pulling tricks and stuff and were trying to make me scared, so that didn't help. But no, I'm not like a haunted place person. Um, Me wanting to go to Germany to enjoy the experience of pagan festivals with you guys there. Yes, I mean, if there are any at some point, we will just all go together. Just have a big gathering. I really love all your magic basic mechanics videos. It helped me a lot as someone who comes from a heavily atheist background. Would you maybe do more of those in the future? What exactly do you mean by magic basic mechanics? Because I'm always open for making videos that are helpful to beginners and like basics and stuff. But I don't really know what exactly you mean, so feel free to tell me. I'm always open for video suggestions, so like if you want to see something specific covered, then feel free to always tell me. Maybe I'll help with the festival by building a Loki love room where everyone can sit down and talk about Loki and to connect over drinks and snacks. That sounds incredible, but only if you have center shocks there, because that's important. How did you choose your path or the deities you worship? And do you believe all gods exist, like in Wicca, or do you believe that the gods represent certain aspects and thus overlap with other beliefs? Okay, let's start with with the last question because that's the easiest. I'm a hard polytheist, so I believe that all deities exist as separate entities. So I my cat is doing weird stuff. I do not believe that like all female deities, for example, are just aspects of one big female deity. For example, even when I was still a Wiccan, that was something that never vibed with me. Like I have always believed that all of the deities actually exist as separate entities, and I don't believe they're just personifications of nature or anything like that. To me, they actually exist. And how did I choose my path and the deities I worship? My cat just knocked over a lot of boxes and probably fell with them. Are you fine? Okay, she's fine. Um, stupid cats. Um, I didn't choose my path. It just developed over time. Like I didn't look at different kinds of witchcraft and was like, I pick you. My path has developed over time and changed a lot. It's still changing a lot. So I just started out with a very general witchcraft, modern witchcraft approach, and then I just found out pretty quickly that I feel at home in the Nordic traditions. So yeah, I didn't really choose. It was just it felt most like home for me. So that's where I went with both my magical path and the deities that I work with. And that's something that I would highly recommend. First of all, don't stress yourself out with like finding a path or finding out what kind of witch you are. There is really no need. There is no need to label yourself. There is no need to find out what you are practicing. Um, just start out somewhere and try out different things, and then whatever feels best for you, do that. And no, I will skip the ad. Thank you very much. Um, yeah, don't stress yourself out too much. That's probably the most important thing. And I know that can be very hard nowadays because there's so much content out there and so many different things that you can get into, but don't stress yourself out. It's your practice, it's your path, and nobody else puts you under pressure to like find out what you want to practice. So why should you? Oh, are we talking about Rachel, by the way? Thank you for recommending her. Yes, Rachel Maxey, I love her. Um, oh yeah, I saw the Mothman video as well. It's so good. I love the glowing eyes. OMG, I saw that. She did such a good job. I love the glowing eyes. Yes, the glowing eyes were the best thing ever. I'm just starting my journey with Hell and I'm planning to add Loki after a while. Any tips, guys? Um, Coffee will be able to tell you a lot about Loki. I already know that. Um, I'm pretty sure they both want to work with me, and Hell came forward very strongly. Hell is such an amazing goddess to work with. She is so like caring and so motherly and not at all scary. I know that she may come across in the in the Eddas as being scary, but she's definitely not. Like I always know if I have like some kind of mental struggle that she will be there and I can just go to her like like I would go to a therapist and just I don't know. I have cried so much like when I was like having sessions with her. But it was like positive tears. We were like trying to like work on traumas and stuff like that. It's yeah. Wouldn't recommend doing that if you're not also seeing a therapist. Um, that's always important because of course if you have like heavy trauma and you go into that without having a therapist by your side, who can help you if something goes wrong, then that's very bad. But I had luckily, so it was fine. Mm, we don't have that much of a talk about everything with the paranormal. Yeah, that's true. Germany is very boring. And if you would mention witchcraft to anyone in Germany, they would just think you're talking about Harry Potter. Uh, Ella's in the comments, cool. I'm always lurking somewhere around YouTube. Ah, I love that. And does the Saltatio Mortis song Loki pop up every time someone enters the Loki room? I'd love that too much. They have a Loki song? I didn't know that. Also, I'm working with the Egyptian god of knowledge Thoth, and he's a god associated with the dead. But yesterday my mom got a ring with a cute little pink skull on it. Hmm. Synchronicities again. Magic. Uh, the joys of being a cat mom. Sometimes it's joyful, sometimes. But with that little chaos queen, yeah, I mean you, little princess. She's a chaos fluff. That's what she is. I stopped messing with haunted places ever since my ex and I used to go to the graveyard. Later that night, I woke up and she was standing over me talking about take me back. Oh, that's fucking scary. That's fucking scary. I find it always very interesting that I've never encountered a graveyard or a cemetery that I felt unsafe in. For some reason, everyone was very chill. But uh, I'll bring center shocks and mead. Oh, let's do a mead tasting like with Beerenweine. Oh, that would be great. I bet I would be able to get Beerenweine to sponsor a festival. That would be so great because in Germany, I don't know if it's a thing elsewhere, but in Germany, the witchcraft and pagan community overlaps majorly with the like medieval enactment scene, which of course kind of makes sense. But so I would guess that you could get Beerenweine to sponsor it and just have Beerenweine everywhere. I love their stuff. Mm, the r/pagan subreddit has a Discord server too. I have never been on Reddit, but I always heard that it's even worse than Twitter, so proceed with caution, I guess. Oh, yes, all the meats for tasting. Yes. Not me trying to chill with some spicy new content with one of my favorite creators, only to have YouTube kick me out. Thanks, YouTube. What? Why did they kick you out? What the heck? That is strange. Um, always here for Lokiing. Happy to help given more specific questions. Yes. Everyone who wants to learn something about Loki, just ask in the chat. Ask Coffee. Coffee will reply to everything. Since Samhain is coming up, the blood meat harvest, I spent this while what? I spent this wild weekend rendering beef fat into lard for over the winter cooking and baking, and I'm bear hunting next weekend. Bear hunting sounds friggin' scary. I'm so happy we don't have bears here. Ooh. Are you doing anything special yet for Samhain? I also already covered that, but I don't have anything planned yet, but I'm also a very spontaneous person, so it could still happen that I'm doing something. I don't know yet. But I'm meeting my coven, so maybe we will do something together. I'm from Poland and I don't see people talking about anything paranormal or pagan too. It seems to just be like a European apart from Britain thing? I don't know. It's so weird that, like, everywhere in Europe I mean, okay, to be fair, I don't know everywhere in Europe, but it just seems to me, as a German person, that apart from English-speaking areas, it's just not a thing, and I wonder why. There's an old hotel across from the Mothman statue we stayed at, no joke. Felt someone jumping on the bed. Oh, America. Blah. Ooh. There's always so many scary stories from America, and I never hear any of that from around here. Actually, there is an account. I'll have to find it for you. They are German based and find old haunted or spooky places such as old churches, etc. Nice. So I guess they are like exploring lost places. My kitty is a ball of chaos too. Her name is Eris, after the Greek goddess of chaos. That sounds like a good name for a cat, honestly. Like my one cat, it's so funny. Usually she's like just staying somewhere and chilling and being the princess and the queen that she is. But then she will get like random zoomies, and I swear her zoomies are the worst zoomies because she will knock over things left and right, and it's awful. And then in Bavaria, we have forests that are haunted or tied to old legends like the Wild Hunt or Headless Travelers. If you ever visit Bavaria, we could check them out. Honestly, I have to come visit you. Like, I have to. Why are you living so far away? That sucks. And like, Apart from me and Nick, like nobody lives in northern Germany. Why? Please, Beerenweine. Yes! Beerenweine and Meetwabe. I don't know about Meetwabe yet. I only tasted Meetwabe before and like them would also like to test Beerenweine. I've never heard of Meetwabe. That sounds interesting. Ella, please do a video about these forests. Yes. Or I will come visit you and then we will go there together and we will make a video together. That would be very fun. I'm only 20 and wishing to taste meat and wine stuff. Oh, so you're probably in the US, so you're not allowed to drink yet? Because in Germany you would be already drinking since you were 16. And much earlier, probably because nobody friggin' cares. Uh, Also, thanks. I feel so loved being the recommendation on Loki things. Of course. You're my trusted Loki source. Also, you're the honorary gossip squirrel, so it's important. Do you have any more interviews coming up with other witchy creators? You and Ivy had amazing discussion. Oh, I loved the video I made with Ivy. Honestly, we should make more videos together. She's also in general, I just love Ivy. Like she is so easy to get along with. She's so nice. She's a rambly person just like me, so we were just having a lot of fun. I am actually planning an interview with a vulva, an Icelandic vulva. Um, they are not a like real like creator, but I don't want to only interview creators. I want to interview practitioners from different traditions. So having an Icelandic vulva, I think that will be very interesting. The only thing I have to get done is schedule that and put all the questions together, which thank you for reminding me. I really have to do that. I asked for questions for a long time, but for some reason I just can't get around to like compile them into the question for the interview. Dang. But apart from that, I don't have any interviews planned. Feel free to request anyone I should interview. Mm, da, 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 da. General question for everyone. How often do you guys leave or change offerings on your altars? Heh. I have recently become a very, very lazy practitioner. So don't take me as a positive example because while yeah, I'm giving like daily offerings of water to my ancestors and to the gods quite recently, like maybe like 3 times a week or something, whenever I have a little bit more time, usually when I'm just not working my day job. Um, but the last bigger offering, I mean, I have given a small offering to like the land spirits and the local spirits on my cemetery. And I actually mentioned that also in the vlog that will go live on Wednesday. But the last proper bloat I've held has been a long time ago. Let's just say it like that. I'm definitely I'm not stepping away from deity work, but it's becoming less of a focus, definitely, which is very interesting. I feel like Hamburg probably has some stories that are like haunted sea stories. I don't know of any, to be honest. Maybe I should do some research on that, but I don't know any. Mm, I believe Fenrir has been trying to reach me. A wolf appeared in my dreams, embracing me. I felt safe and had no worries. In my tarot readings, I'm getting a lot of break the chains messages. Thoughts? Why don't you just contact him and ask whether that was him? I guess that would be the easiest thing to do. What I mean by basic magic mechanics is like the Hermetic Principles vids you did, like the basics of how magic works. Also, I'd really love more astrology videos. Um, Astrology videos probably won't really happen because I'm not really like learning astrology anymore. I've kind of bailed on that. Yeah, I just lost interest in it, honestly. I still like astrology, but it's such a huge topic that I was kind of, yeah, overwhelmed with it. I just don't have enough time for it. Um, but like more like basics of how magic works. I could do that. I could actually try to do that. That will be pretty hard because, of course, it will be all my UPG. I could try to do that. Actually, I will. Wait a minute. I will write that down because I have a very long video idea list. I will put that on there. Um, all right, noted. Uh, well, Americans are very dramatic, said with love from a neighboring Canadian. Oh, that's funny. Americans are definitely louder than a lot of other people. I don't know if they're also dramatic, but I guess you also just can't say something about that big of a nation. But I feel like that's just the thing that everyone says, Americans are loud. And as a Northern German, we are very silent. That was actually very funny. When we were in Prague, we went to this five-course medieval entertainment dinner thing, and we sat on a big table, us two German people. Uh, in front of us were three Americans. Next to us were three Australians, and then there were two random people which didn't say words, so I don't know where they were from. But it was so funny because like the Americans were so extroverted and instantly started talking to everyone, and us two like Northern German people were just sitting in the corner of the of the table, like just sipping our drinks and like, we actually don't want to talk to anyone. It was such a it was very comic. Like you could have made a whole ass comedic video about that. Uh, I literally live next to an old haunted mansion, got turned to a school at some point, then was closed again and remained abandoned. Greetings from Egypt. Ooh, that's interesting. And by the way, greetings back to Egypt. I will come to Egypt after Christmas and I'm very excited about it. Um I currently don't have a constant altar, but I'm always looking for things and acts to offer. You know, the more the merrier. In my opinion, acts of devotion are always the best thing and the most effective thing, in my opinion. We should all just meet up at the Blocksberg, nice in the middle of Germany. I would love that. Just meet at the Harz. Um, Lol, thank you so much for mentioning my comment. That means so much to me. You are one of my top 5 content creators here on YouTube. That's so nice of you. Thank you so much. 28, 21 age stuff in the US laws. Yeah, doesn't exist here. uh, you could also visit the peat bog near Windeby, or we could meet and visit the child from Windeby in Schloss Gottorf. I've actually never been to Schloss Gottorf, and it's so strange because I feel like everyone where I'm from has been there at least once, and I've actually never been there. Also, if you're planning on making festivals and stuff, but will you do a pagan meetup in the US? Probably not, because there are already a lot of meetups and festivals and stuff in the US. So I don't really see a reason why I should do that over there. Also, the US is not really on my travel bucket list. Like, don't get me wrong, you have beautiful nature, but for some reason, I'm just not interested in traveling to the US. Um, so that probably won't happen, at least in the next couple of years. Um, Meatwabe has many different meats, normal ones with different kinds of honey, fruit mixes with other alcohol like whiskey, edible glitter, and also strange ones like garlic or bacon. Garlic? Ew. Okay, I mean, interesting. Very interesting. What are your views on the afterlife and Valhalla? I know traditional views on this clash heavily with modern interpretation. I mean, I believe that there are different kinds of afterlives. Like if you look at Norse mythology, there are a lot of different things that could happen to you. So, I mean, I most probably will go to hell once I die because I will most probably die of either some kind of sickness or of old age. So I will go to hell. Um, I don't really understand why so many people are equating Valhalla with heaven. That does not make zero sense to me. I mean, would you want to go after you die to a place where you have to fight until you die every single day and be reborn and do that every single fucking day until you're pulled from that for one final battle? That doesn't sound fun to me. I mean, why would you want to go to Valhalla? I don't understand it. Um, so I am completely fine with going to hell, especially because I know hell now. So I know that there's nothing to fear. I feel like I will just be chilling with my ancestors, and that sounds very nice. Mm, I think everywhere when you talked about witchcraft, they assume you're talking about Harry Potter, and I really hate that, especially consider all the harm J.K. Rowling has done to the queer community. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's just the thing. I feel like in Germany, everyone is like hyper rational. Like, so many people are hyper rational, and there are actually not that many people who are actually believing in any type of religion anymore. I mean, yeah, of course they exist, but most people are either like I go to church only on Christmas and Easter kind of kind of Christian, but still very rational, or they're just atheists. Um, so yeah, most people will just be like, well, what are you talking about? Witchcraft, like things like that don't exist, supernatural things don't exist, ghosts don't exist. Only the things I can see and prove exist. So I feel like that's usually the problem. I recommend Mietwabe at a fair. They will let you taste everything and they have alcohol-free drinks too. Ooh, they have all alcohol-free options. That is great. Mm, there is a lot of value in UPG. Definitely. And you can't go around UPG. Like everyone has UPG and it's UPG is valid. And it's very fun if you talk about other people and all of a sudden your UPG becomes SPG. Uh, what are your thoughts on Thelema? I don't know a lot about Thelema, so I don't really have thoughts on it. Like I can't tell you anything about it because I'm not educated about it. Mm, Norbert Stark wrote a really nice book about Sagentouren rund um Schleswig with some things about our region. I think I've seen that. I think I actually bought a book that's called something like Mythenwege in Schleswig-Holstein or something like that. Um, so yeah, I know there are some books that are like, yeah, basically telling you some routes that well, some like hiking trails or something that go to like mythical places. I don't know how good they are because the one I have, I think I bought it. I don't remember. I think I bought it. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know how good they are. Hmm. In my experience, the Heathen subreddit is quite good. They have anti-Nazi guidelines. That's great. That's great to hear and very important. I would also not recommend Galina Kraskova. I say that with caution. Need to do more research, but I only hear bad things online about her, and I also disagree with her ways of worship anyway. I have also heard some problematic stuff about her, but I don't remember. I don't remember what it was, but it was some kind of racism or something. But There are actually very little authors in the heathen space that are not problematic, so pretty sad. Well, it's getting late, so I have to go if I want to meditate in front of my altar for a bit. Have fun, everyone, and I hope to catch another live soon. Bye bye. Where was I? And I have a book about Kraftorte im nördlichen Schleswig-Holstein from Horst-Dieter Landeck. That's interesting. I have to Google that. Oh yes, meeting at the Harz. I love it there. My granny is from there, and this year I was at the Rock Harz festival at the Devil's Wall. It was so cool. I have also been to the Devil's Wall, but not to a festival, just for a hike. I also like the Harz, but it's so interesting because it feels so incredibly different than Northern Germany, and I'm so used to Northern Germany, and the Harz feels heavy in a weird kind of way, like, if it doesn't make sense. I don't know, it feels heavy, but not in a negative way. I still like it. I don't know. I can't really explain it. I swear I just want to either reincarnate or just not exist in the afterlife. I mean, I'm not mad about an afterlife as long as it's pleasant. Especially if I can chill with my ancestors. Like, I would love to just meet my grandparents again, for example. On the topic of meetups, anyone in the chat from the Netherlands? Anyone from the Netherlands? Say it in the comments. Do you have any information on how to start working with Odin as a patron deity? I mean, he's not my patron, but I am working with Odin. Um, in my experience, he's pretty. I was about to say he's easy to work with because you don't have to constantly give physical offerings, but he will request some heavy things from you. Like, he's more of the type to ask for devotional acts, but they are usually pretty heavy acts. Like, for example, he had me work through like 5 or 6 books about the runes. Um, like heavy things like that, like heavy research things and stuff like that. It's not like, I don't know, go to a dance class for me or something. It will take you some time. But I feel like he's pretty easy going. I mean, I never did anything to piss him off, luckily, but he's also not always there. Like, he's a wanderer, so he will come in and be like, "Here, I have something I want you to do for me," and then he's gone, and you won't be able to reach him for some time. That's normal, and that doesn't mean he's not interested anymore. That does just means he's out doing other things. That's my UPG. Um, I went from being Christian for so long to Christian witch to just only working with animal spirits to working with animal spirits, and Lilith reached out to me. It's been about a year. All of that happened in a year? That's impressive. And that sounds stressful. My first tarot deck is the Dali tarot. Recently, I found out that Dali was very close to fascism, and now I'm not sure what to do. I mean, is the tarot not just like inspired by his art style? It's not a tarot that he designed, right? So I don't think that's a reason to not work with it anymore. But of course, like, if you are now feeling badly about it, like if you have negative feelings about it now, then maybe that alone will be enough for you to not be able to properly work with it anymore. So I love when you talk about your UPG, not trying to speak for everyone, but I do feel that makes our practices even more validated in a sense. I feel like I feel like more people should talk about their UPG openly because ah, well, especially if you talk about it very honestly and you don't make it seem bigger and greater than it is, I feel like that just makes people feel more valid in a sense because they see that you're not like more gifted than them or something. You're also just a person trying to work their way through it. So I feel like sharing your own experiences is very, very important. I mean, you can find books and videos about like the general information and the educational stuff basically everywhere nowadays, but like the what to do with that info, that is usually missing. The book from Norbert Stark is great. First, many mythological stories, and only at the end of the book are 3 tours, and some stories are in Plattdeutsch. Ooh, okay, you had me at Plattdeutsch. That actually sounds great. Also, in light of your recent content, how do you define witch? Just curious. Oh no, that's a hot take of mine. I recently uploaded a hot take video, and in that I actually went over like a little bit of how I define a witch, and I made a lot of people very unhappy with that because and I won't like discuss that on a live because that just doesn't lead anywhere because everyone has different definitions for things. And what my definition is will never invalidate your definition and will never invalidate if you are a witch or not. Because in the end, what I believe and my definition doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm just a random person. Um, but I personally believe that witches have like one step in this world and one step in the other worlds, like one foot, not one step. Um, and I believe personally that witches work with spirits and in any kind of way. It doesn't matter if that's a deity, it doesn't matter if that's an animal spirit, a plant spirit, a local spirit, ancestors, whatever. But I feel like that's a part of witchcraft. Yeah. Like if you're not doing that at all, that doesn't mean you're not doing magic. Like you're still like a magical practitioner. Um, and that's not like worse than being a witch, you know? But for me personally, that's just a part of witchcraft. But I know a lot of people don't share that definition, and that that is totally fine. As I said, it's just my definition and it doesn't really have any influence on other people's practices. It's just what I think. Um, thing with Loki is I worked with Loki long before I have read the Eddas. Though I did know the sagas, I feel like it's best to approach Loki and go with your gut. Agreed, especially because there are so many stories that make Loki just seem awful. I'm curious, how long were you practicing before you started working with deities? Ooh, that was actually quite a long time because in the beginning I wasn't even sure if I believed in deities. And in the beginning I didn't like I was not interested in deities at all. So I think at least 3 years, I think. Because it was like very fluent. Like at some point I started giving some offerings, but I didn't really work with any deity. It was more like I will give an offering here and there and I'll see what happens. But I think like 2 or 3 years, I guess. But it's not because like I didn't feel prepared to or because I think that beginners shouldn't do that. It's just because I wasn't interested in it before that. Um, do you have any thoughts on mediums? People here in America get swept up by the idea very easily across different beliefs. I personally am weary, especially because of so many con artists. Difficult question because I don't feel like there is like a set definition on what a medium is. Like, is a medium just a person who is able to communicate with spirits and then like take the information that spirits give them and then pass them on to the person who is supposed to receive the messages? I guess that's what a medium is. And I mean, a lot of people can do that or like learn how to do that. A lot of the times, it just, I don't know, the title just makes people seem grander than they are, even though I personally believe that everyone can learn how to do that. Maybe not like as perfectly as other people can, but yeah, I guess. What's a UPG? Unverified personal gnosis. So your personal experience that is not backed by sources and not shared by anyone else. Mm, I fully agree with that hot take. Thank you. I made so many people angry with that one. So that's why I also won't discuss it because it also doesn't make sense to discuss it because there isn't a set definition on what a witch is. Everyone thinks differently about that, and that's totally fine because just like there could also be someone else out there who defines a witch in a way that excludes me, but that doesn't have any influence on my life and my practice. So who the hell cares? I have a person who is like a child to me and wants to start learning about witchcraft, but they don't want to learn from me. What do I do? Let them learn from someone else? I mean, shouldn't they like be free to learn from whoever they want to learn? Basically means you do it because it's right for you, not because it's oh, about Loki. Basically means you do it because it's right for you, not because it is written in sources. Sometimes many people share the same UPG and it becomes SPG. Yes, definitely. Oh no, that was about the UPG. Yeah. Is it easy to work with Loki? In my experience, he's very easily approachable and very open to a lot of different people. But you have to keep in mind he is a trickster and he likes to bring chaos and play tricks on you. So, yeah. And in my personal experience, in my UPG, he also likes to pretend to be other deities. So that can make things a little bit harder because that can mean that you are at first thinking that he's someone else. And you're like, in the end, you're like, oh, whoops, that was Loki all along. Um, Currently, all my deity, only the ones I work with, are lit. Oh, so the deity candles, probably. And all the flames are going crazy. I think they like the live. Yeah, or there's just a wind, like a little air movement going through the room. If all of them are going crazy, that's most probably the case. Um, I mean, I want them not to end up in toxic place trying to learn from for themselves. Could you maybe just recommend like some other teachers to them that you know aren't toxic? I mean, there are so many people out there nowadays that are great sources of knowledge. Um, I mean, in the end, you can't control where he gets or they get. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the gender. Um, in the end, you can't control where they get their information from. Uh, so you cannot do more than just recommend some good sources to them. And I guess they would be like happy about that. I mean, who isn't happy about recommended sources, right? I find living with Loki very easy. I've been doing it since childhood. That's a long time. Loki forces me out of toxic situations when I feel too comfortable doing nothing. But like the tower card, it is chaotic, it can hurt, but it's for the better. That is also how I perceive Loki. Like, he brings chaos, yes, and it may feel uncomfortable in the situation because it forces you to make changes, but in the end, it's usually for the better, even if it's not like he doesn't give you like the soft way out, if that makes sense. First impression of Loki was a very sweet smell. That was how Loki chose his candle, and he loves sweet, I learned. Yes, that's also UPG of mine that he loves sweets, but also sour candy. So, like, I once gave him center shocks actually, and he seemed to enjoy that. So, that's what I found actually pretty funny. And I have actually managed to reach the end of the chat. Incredible after nearly 2 hours. Oh, oof. And I guess that's also where I will leave you for today because longer than 2 hours, my voice can't take more than 2 hours. But it was extremely lovely to hang out with you. Incredible how many people were there. Like there were more than 60 people at some point. That's crazy. That's a crazy amount. But yeah, I really love doing doing live streams, not making live streams. I really love going live. I don't know, it just feels like we're all hanging out even though I'm the only person talking. But yeah, I love having a more direct way of communication. It's very, very nice. But yeah, I hope, depending on where you live, you're having either a great Sunday or a great night and you're sleeping well. And I guess I will go live the next time after Samhain. So if you are celebrating Samhain, then I hope you have a very blessed and amazing and fun Samhain slash Halloween, whatever you celebrate. Bye, everyone.